Hello everyone and welcome to today's screencast. Today we're going to talk about the social media strategies with New Balance footwear. We're going to introduce New Balance and talk a little bit about their history. We're going to talk about the basics of social media frameworks and models. We're going to look at some of the trends currently in social media. We're also going to do a deep dive into New Balance's channel activities. We're going to do a comparison of HC's, New Balance versus ASICS, one of their competitors, and see where they stack up. We're also going to come with some social media recommendations at the end, and as well as some strategic opportunities for New Balance to consider. New Balance Athletic Shoe Incorporated was best known as New Balance. They were founded in 1906 by a young William Riley. He was a 33-year-old British immigrant. Currently, it's headquartered in Boston, Massachusetts. Riley's philosophy was to manufacture arch supports initially, so he wasn't really into the shoe game yet. He was just manufacturing orthotics, things that you would stick into shoes. He developed a three-point arch support that provided greater balance and comfort in people's shoes. So he found his niche by marketing these orthotics into people's jobs where they stand a lot. You know, your nurses, your doctors, your healthcare folks, mailmen, people on their feet all day. And back in the day, if you can imagine, back in the early 1900s, shoes were not as comfortable as they are today. So having developed that, it was a big win for him back then. Coming 100 years or so later, New Balance today is not only the arch supports, but they have a family of brands of shoes. We've got New Balance, Dunham, PF Flyers, Arvon, Warrior, and Brine. The company employs over 4,000 people worldwide and had sales revenue of over $2.3 billion at the end of 2013. It's also listed as one of America's largest private companies, currently listed as number 197. So social media strategic frameworks, social media strategies are designed and built to support the organization's strategy. And they include methods such as brand outposts, reputation management, post management. As an example, with reputation management as a framework, it's designed to give first-hand feedback to customers and to build healthy brand loyalty. It's also a way to manage damage control. We can look at an example of that back a few years back here in the U.S. Domino's Pizza had an incident whereby some of its employees posted some videos on YouTube of them doing gross things to some of the pizzas, and those videos went viral. Domino's, already having an established social media presence, jumped on Twitter pretty quick and was able to quell the negative feedback coming from the consumers, and basically kept updates to the consumers, making sure that they kept everyone in the loop of what's going on. In the end, it was not a great thing for the brand Domino's, but they were able to do some damage control by using their social media avenues of Twitter as such. The social media models for business, there's 5 primary models, and this is how your companies like your Googles and your Facebooks and all that make money, right? There's a freemium model, right? It's basic and free. It provides a real basic service. But once you want to have all the add-on services and all that, they start charging premium prices for paying members and customers. You've got affiliate models, the subscription models, advertising models. As with the advertising model, it's selling ads against traffic. So the more ads and traffic you see, the more you can charge for ads. So this is why Google is making lots of money, because they have a lot of traffic to their sites. Some of the trends for social medias in 2014, Facebook remains the social media platform of choice. They say over 71% of internet users are on Facebook. Facebook and Instagram are the most likely users to log on a daily basis. You got 63% for Facebook and 57% for Instagram. Facebook demographic is the most widespread as well. They've got moms and pops and young kids and wives and homemakers and athletes and every age bracket under the sun. Instagram and Twitter, they're driven by the young demographic, the 18 to 29-year-old sec, young folks that don't seem to have as much time, so they rely on the things like quick pictures and things to get their messages across. And then Pinterest, it's actually unique because it's got one of the largest disparities between female to male users with a 4-to-1 ratio for females. Some of the business statistics surrounding social media: 92% of business owners indicate that social media is an avenue that they want to use and is important to their business. 70% of the marketers want to use images to increase their marketing. They also state original written content is one of the most important pieces of marketing. You know, the conversation is very key with marketers and having that two-way personalized conversation. 72% of Twitter followers are also more likely to make a purchase from a business they follow. So it's actually, you know, brand loyalty, keeping people up. You're going to drive revenues. And then one final thing worth noting is blogging. It's starting to really tick up. It's expected to grow, and it's much more community-based. It's very social and interactive, very personalized. So New Balance, let's look at some of their social media statistics. Right now, they're pretty much on every major channel. With Twitter, they're very active. They do lots of posts every day. In fact, they're double the posts of pics and videos compared to their competitor Nike, as you can see the numbers there. YouTube, they have a lot of subscriptions, a lot of views. They're very active with posting videos. They've had 79 in the last 7 months, whereas if you look at their competitors, they're very, you know, other than ASICS, Brooks and Nike are nowhere near the amount of content. Their top video was called Fresh Foam Naming Experience. It was based around one of their shoes that they tried out on, you know, 5Ks and 10Ks, and they let the various runners name the shoe, and they videoed it, and it had a lot of good comments from users. And as you can see, you know, that video garnered almost 800,000 views, whereas if you look at competitors' top videos for Nike or Brooks, they're nowhere near the amount of views. And one final thing on YouTube is they've got a focus on their Runovation campaign, where they're running a social program. Pinterest, they have a unique street style board with everyday people wearing New Balance shoes. It's branded and localized and segmented by regions. Many user-created boards, and it's much more active and with posts than, say, competitor ASICS. Instagram, they're active on that platform as well. Multiple pics and videos daily. They engage users for the most respect with responses. It's very sports and product driven. Shoes are portrayed in almost 100% of their posts. And that's a little bit different than some of the other companies like Nike or ASICS, where they have a lot more gear or things like sports equipment that might showcase other things other than the shoes. But as obviously New Balance is very shoe focused, their shoes take precedence. Facebook, they've got 1 million likes across all 5 pages. They have 5 branded subpages in different regions here in the Americas as well as in the Asia Pacific regions. They do daily posts in most of the pages. As their competitors, they stack up. They're a little bit better than Brooks, and they stack up well against ASICS. And then finally, rounding out Google+, they have 2,000 followers and about 15,000 views. They have an official page with contact and post section. However, it's very limited engagement at this point. It's very similar to competitors, ASICS, and other presence from other competitors. None of these folks seem to be using Google Plus a lot yet, and you'll see when I come to our recommendations that that's one of the recommendations, is to engage Google Plus a little bit more. Now we take a little deep dive into the comparison of the 8C's strategy, and we look at the differences as well as the commonalities between, say New Balance and ASICS, one of their competitors. In short, New Balance offers more platforms. They're on more platforms. They're on all 5 major ones: Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, YouTube, and Instagram. But you can see there that they're one-sided. It's basically one-way communication. They push information out to these communities. Whereas ASICS has less platforms, but they're two-sided. They're engaging their folks. They're conversing with their folks. It's very push and pull marketing. They ask for opinions. And to me, I would think that more is not always better. And in this case, you can see that the preference on this side might be that ASICS is doing a better job because they are engaging their followers much more dynamically. And then you round out the C's at the bottom. They have some commonalities with contribute, connect, and community. So recommendations, social media channels. So YouTube, one of the issues we saw with the YouTube experience is that the tip series that they've produced are very short, very lacking in personality, and do not add a lot of value. So we mentioned earlier that they had way more posts than any other competitor, but in the end of the day, if they're too short and they're not adding value, what's the purpose? Some of the recommendations may be to introduce a video log training series, community shared stories, 5K, 10K race prep stories, something a little bit more personal in nature to engage the community. As far as Instagram, one of the notes we follow is that they do seem to respond to Instagram followers, but it's typically nothing more than pushing folks to their website for more information. So they need to be more personal. Don't just say see the website. They should respond to the user by name and and give them a kudos, give them a thumbs up, whatever it may be. But that might drive folks to have a little bit more engagement versus a standard check out our website response. Also, we see with Instagram, New Balance compared to some competitors really needs to step up their events, and drive events via grassroots promotions. Most of their posts are focused on their products, just taking pictures of their shoes, but they don't portray a lot of activities or events or runs or marathons or triathlons or anything of that nature. So as they say, 1,000 pictures worth 1,000 words. So I really feel like they should push in that avenue to garner some followers. Facebook, maintain control of Facebook pages, ensure common messaging. Many of the New Balance sites are operated by local auction companies in the APAC regions. They need to tighten up the control and copyrights or shut those sites down because they're not really controlling them. And they need to enhance the conversations on Facebook because that's one of their biggest SM channels. Some of the strategic recommendations: New Balance has demonstrated it has a mature social media strategy, but they need to make sure they continue to align it to their organization strategy. They need to actively monitor other platforms like blogs and comments. Blogs are seeing an uptick in activity, so they really should involve themselves in these runners' communities. They need to focus on non-athletic, non-runners. Obviously their roots were in the workforce, standing, hospitals, and mailmen. Maybe they need to look at repositioning themselves and target this community and get these walking type shoes back in front of them. They should further develop Renovation. They're running a social campaign similar to Nike's Just Do It. New Balance should really push this campaign in all their channels to get the word out. And finally, develop Google Plus, the social media channel. We mentioned that earlier, that they've got a very established followers, but they could be the first mover in this space if they really would to adopt Google Plus. And finally, some of the strategic opportunities. We want to look at expanding the SMS marketing to the mobile marketing platform. We're looking at things like web-based opt-ins where you have engagement possibilities to organize online competitions, invite people to opt in. This way they can receive new product releases, tips, special offers, discounts, and so forth. And key to that is they can capture demographic data in that space. They could also look at expanding their use of QR codes. They offer a lot of great possibilities due to their ease of creation and printing. And the simplicity of them allows users to engage the community via a quick scan and opt-in. So it could really tie well into the web-based opt-in above. And finally, we've seen a lot of press about near-field communications, thinking it'd be a good opportunity for New Balance to engage in near-field communications marketing. It's a powerful mobile tool that can provide a lot of interactive engagement. And the key being first mover, it gives you a competitive advantage. So that might be a good strategic opportunity for New Balance. And on that note, we would like to thank you for our presentation regarding New Balance shoes. And if you have any questions, raise a hand. Thank you.